a, a twilight zone of an alternative Pearl Harbor, when the Japanese, who felt they had no other option but to attack the United States and hopefully hit us hard enough that we would sue for peace, not that they could defeat our nation, but just sue for peace. Would there have been an alternative attack that might have done a better job than what they did at Pearl Harbor? If I may, and step back and say, let's take the money that the 6 aircraft carriers that they spent that money on, and time and energy, and the ships to protect them and take care of them. Let's cut that from 6 ships that they had at the beginning of the war, 6 aircraft carriers, knock it down to 3. Let's also start getting rid of the battleships. Eliminate that as projects. Too much money, too much expense. Now, what were alternatives? How about this? The Japanese had a heavy old rifle from World War I style, long, heavy, and the 7.7 Japanese cartridge. Rest assured, it wasn't the state of the art for a beginning of a World War II era. Bold action when most of the Allied troops were having semi-automatic rifles, if not automatic. But if you're going to stay with a bold action, that's a good idea if you do it right. Instead of the heavy cartridge though that they had, go with a bold action 22 caliber Magnum, a Magnum 22 caliber rifle. I have friends that have them scoped, and they talk about killing coyotes at 500 yards with a 22 caliber, a 22 Magnum rifle. Absolutely. 7-shot clip, an excellent lightweight rifle. Something that the Japanese could have owned. They could have, with the saving of the money on those other projects, and put it toward a decent, efficient rifle. My argument continues with, instead of a 7.7 Jap rifle cartridge, you would have a 22 Magnum cartridge. 22 Magnum over the 7.7 Jap. The reasoning for that is a 22 Magnum, the weight of it allows you to carry 9 bullets compared to that heavy 7.7 Japanese cartridge. You bet. 9 or 1 bullet, that's your choice. And every battle that they fought in World War II, the majority of them were lost simply because they ran out of ammunition. If you had 9 times the ammunition, you'd hang on a lot longer, wouldn't you? And the killing power, again, on out there to 500 to 700 yards, is more than capable in the hands of an expert with a 22 Magnum rifle. And add fuel to the fire. Add fuel to the fire. Every rifle has a scope on it. And you get the money from the projects that you didn't start. The aircraft carriers, battleships, you have a scoped rifle. It was very well proven in World War I how efficient a scoped rifle was. And in fact, in World War II, it took 800 rounds to kill an enemy soldier. 800 rounds was spent trying to kill one enemy soldier. Comparatively to those that were snipers, they were getting 50% kills on their shots. In other words, if they had 2 shots or 2 bullets, they'd be guaranteed 1 kill. That was the average. A lot better than 800 rounds fired to kill 1 enemy soldier. Absolutely. And so, if those rifles, by the tens of thousands, perhaps even close to 100,000 rifles, were made, and ammunition was stockpiled accordingly, with scopes, absolutely, things would have happened and turned around, and the Japanese would have made them pay a terrible price. But I said Pearl Harbor. Instead of an attack from the air, from the aircraft carriers, you simply use 2 freighters, innocent looking, maybe with Swiss markings, and you sail up to the Hawaiian Islands. And in the beginnings of the evening, throughout the night, you unload 3,000 from each ship, 6,000 Japanese soldiers with rifles, and Each one could be carrying 1,000 rounds of ammunition. 1,000 rounds of ammunition and a rifle with a scope on it, ready for combat. Go as deep in as they can till they make contact, and if they can't destroy the contact, dig in and wait for the enemy to come at you with a scoped rifle. Absolutely. And I would finish it with Hawaii being invaded. I think they should have done it the same day. They should have taken Midway with the same mindset of that type of a rifle, a scoped rifle. And I would finish it with this little twist. I would have used only women. I would have used only women to be the invasion force. Only women, Japanese women, snipers. The Russians proved all too well that their Russian women made great snipers, with kills of upwards of 300 enemy soldiers killed by some of their top women snipers. Absolutely, that's one sniper killing 300 instead of firing 800 rounds and killing one enemy soldier. This is an alternative I would, if I was Japanese and given the orders to find the best way to try to make America back off. And even when the United States military moved in to try to take out those troops, those 6,000 on Hawaii, even when they moved in to take them out, and they would, there's no question they would finally win, but the losses might be staggering. It very easily would be 10-1 or a lot more than that. And so they might lose 60,000 American soldiers. And that would make the United States cringe and take a step back and say, maybe we ought to just sue for peace and leave them alone over there on the other side of the world. I think that's as credible of a concept as bombing a single, harbor and thinking that that will break the spirit of America.
Well, anybody can do it once. Let's see if we can do it twice.
Go ahead, try it again.
Pretty good shooting, kid.
Not bad.
Not
You're
bad.
an old lady.